This program lineup is brought to you by Vision Express.
NBC's Wednesday primetime lineup comes into focus with Vision Express. Fast, fashionable, focused.
KUAM TV8, first on KUAM. KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adahi Tano program. Apply at matson.com. Cars Plus, where it's Hyundai holidays going on now. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime, the military conducts its first ever missile intercept test over Guam. Officials confident this proves they have the capability to defend the island in the event of any missile attacks. Plus, the community sounds off on the test, several questioning why the public was not given at least a heads up. And senators back in session, the talk over funding for critical needs at the Department of Corrections prison.
Half a day and good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Destiny Cruz-Lingus. Thank you so much for making this a part of your day. A missile attack intercepted just off Guam's coast. That was the scenario carried out during a military exercise held overnight.
It was the first ever ballistic missile intercept test for Guam, an historic moment as officials continue to monitor real-life threats in the region.
An Air Force C-17 Glowmaster 3 takes off from Andersen Air Force Base. The military air launching a medium-range ballistic missile off the coast of Guam Tuesday night. The Missile Defense Agency sharing images of the flight experiment during Exercise Slingstone. And on the ground, the Aegis Guam system, integrated with the new radar and vertical launching system, fires a standard Missile 3 block intercepting the target. The mission, a success. An historic moment for the military and for the region, as this is the first ever ballistic missile defense event for Guam. Given the designation Flight Experiment Mission 2, officials say this marks a pivotal step taken in defense of Guam and protecting forces from any potential regional missile threats. Guam Governor Lulian Guerrero and Guam National Guard Adjutant General Mike Cruz joined other military leaders at the Joint Region Marianas Regional Operations Center to witness the test. The governor stating, "I witnessed the first ever testing and success of the missile defense system in Guam. It was indeed a moment of satisfaction to see all the hard work, science, data, and technology come together for the defense of our island and our nation. Seeing the interceptor successfully launched and the target tracked and taken down was a great leap into the protection of our people. The system works," she says. Guam Delegate James Moylan also meeting with Missile Defense Agency leaders to witness the event. Moylan stating, "At no moment during this testing were our people, our island, and those within this region in any harm. The process will include an inspection of any debris to be conducted later today aboard Andersen Air Force Base." The congressman adding, "Today's test was a major step forward in our pursuit of 360-degree missile defense. The commitment to defending the homeland remains a top priority for me and my fellow Armed Services Committee members in Congress." Joint Task Force Micronesia Commander Navy Rear Admiral Greg Huffman stating the success of Slingstone is a testament to the incredible work our joint service team does every day to maintain a strong defensive posture in the Indo-Pacific region. Leveraging MDA's missile intercept test to train how we fight just made sense. We will take lessons learned and continue to strengthen the architecture of Guam's defense against evolving adversary missile threats. Simultaneously, the Navy's Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer USS Milius assisted to detect, track, and simulate engagement of the missile, providing air defense coverage from the sea. Task Force Talon, the Army's Terminal High Altitude Area Defense Unit, also received missile tracking information. The THAAD battery provides ballistic missile defense coverage for the entire island. The Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force Maya-class guided missile destroyer JS Haguro exercised its air defense support, increasing interoperability between international forces. Additionally, Slingstone provided an opportunity for the military and Guam Homeland Security Office of Civil Defense to rehearse the notification process and increase crisis response readiness.
The community is sounding off to the missile intercept test happening overnight, which caught many by surprise.
And also leaving some divided over the military's actions, with others pointing to a lack of notice to the public.
A bright light shooting into the night sky. This was the view of one Jigo man who caught the military's missile intercept test on video overnight. The exercise taking place while most island residents were asleep, leaving many to wake up to the surprising news this morning.
No, I haven't heard anything. I don't know about it.
How do you feel hearing about it?
Oh, I'm surprised.
The community speaking out about the Slingstone exercise, with some like this Dededo couple expressing disappointment over the lack of advance notice.
They need to inform us, so we can be wide awake.
What if something really happened on Guam? And then, how we all going to react? We're going to panic. And it's scary.
But not everyone feels the same way.
I mean, they don't necessarily need to communicate with the local people. I don't need to know that a missile's coming at that point. They need to do their job, then let us know.
Meanwhile, KUAM's social media buzzing with reactions. Users commenting, an exercise to improve communication not communicated to the public? Make it make sense. Why inform us of the tsunami sirens testing and not that? I thought it was a shooting star. Saw this from Tumon last night and was convinced it was a UFO. Launch, then give the people heads up? Thanks. They should have at least a mayor or representative from each village in the room or notice so people don't panic. Yup, heard it too. Thought the kids were popping homemade cannons. Local action group Protehi Guahan also weighing in, writing in part on their social media. Some landowners with ranches up north received letters offering $1,500 for the DoD to limit access and enter properties for testing. The letters did not include dates for missile testing or documents related to inspections of the properties without prior approval from landowners. Meantime, when asked if there was any advance public notice about the tests, a spokesperson with the Missile Defense Agency tells KUAM they determined that based off any potential dangers. In this case, the MDA confirms the space was cleared previously on Anderson Air Force Base, and notice was given to landowners, mariners, and fishermen, and commercial and private aviation. Officials adding prior information on any missile test is kept close hold for security reasons, adding they've had incidents in the past where other nations and intelligence gathering vessels would observe a test.
And tensions continue to swirl over the recent visit to Guam by Taiwan President Ching De-lai. The Taiwanese Defense Ministry reporting China has deployed its largest Navy fleet in regional waters in nearly 3 decades, posing a threat to Taiwan that is more pronounced than previous Chinese war games. The ministry reports China's Navy is building 2 quote-unquote walls in the Pacific, one at the eastern end of Taiwan's air defense identification zone and the other further out in the Pacific.
President Lai called on China to open its arms rather than raise its fists. After wrapping up his first overseas tour since taking office in May, in Palau, the president said no matter how many military exercises and warships and aircraft are used to coerce neighboring countries, they will not be able to win the respect of any country.
Now to a rescue in the waters off Hagåtña today.
The incident resulting in 2 kayakers being rushed to area hospitals. It was just after 9 a.m. Guam Fire Department responding to reports of distressed kayakers at the Hagåtña Boat Basin Channel. A surfer there helped pull the 55-year-old man who was unconscious and not responding. CPR was performed before he was rushed to Naval Hospital, where he is said to be in critical condition. The second kayaker, a 61-year-old man, suffered minor injuries and was taken to the Guam Memorial Hospital. Up next, talks over critical funding over the overcrowded prison.
Plus, imagine going to visit a loved one at the Veterans Cemetery only to find the grave markers uprooted. We'll show you why. You're watching KUAM.
For 25 years, Cars Plus has been more than just a place to buy a car. When we opened our doors, our mission was clear: build lasting relationships and ensure every customer drives away with confidence. As a family business, we nurture our employees, passing down values of integrity and respect. We believe that strong values create strong relationships, ensuring that every customer who walks through our doors is treated like family. For 25 years, we've been driven by you and will continue to be for generations to come.
NBC's Wednesday primetime lineup comes into focus with Vision Express. Fast, fashionable, focused.
KUAM TV8, first on Guam.
Looking for the best value for your family's connectivity? Save big with GTA's Choice Bundles. Get fast internet, unlimited wireless, entertaining digital TV, and reliable home phone, all in one convenient package. The more services you choose, the more you save. Over $1,000 per year. GTA is the smart choice. For a limited time, bundle internet and wireless and get 3 months of free internet plus a $300 Visa gift card on us. Bundle and save with GTA Choice Bundles.
Welcome back to Primetime. Prison attacks and rapes. It's the reality leaders admit they face at the local prison. The Department of Corrections was up for discussion on session floor today.
Senators discussing critical funding needed to maintain the DepCor facilities. This as the prison plans to build a new prison within the next few years. Nevaeh Anderson reports.
Repairs, new security materials, official vehicles, and other safety equipment. It's what some senators on the session floor say the Department of Corrections needs now.
We need to ensure their safety as well. And that's today. We can't wait until a new facility is built up.
During session Wednesday, Senator Tello Taitagui expressed support for Bill 368. It would reallocate $5 million already designated for the construction of a new prison to instead be spent on critical items DepCor needs.
I support this bill. I don't have a major problem because it's the current situation we are and the safety and well-being of not only our prisoners, but most especially those employees at Department of Correction.
But some were hesitant about the intent of the bill to include Public Safety Oversight Chair Senator Chris Barnett.
I just worry that by providing this immediate help to the Department of Corrections that we are jeopardizing the long-term solution that our island so desperately needs, and that is, of course, the construction of a new Department of Corrections.
What I think is a fairly reasonable proposal. I'm unsettled in the decision that should we go ahead and transfer this money for current operations when they've already begun the process.
And what impact will it have on that A&E that's out to bid? Will it stop it? Will it delay it? Will we have to start from scratch? Because this is exactly what happened with Simon Sanchez.
Lawmakers concerned over Director Fred Bordalio's failure to provide them a definitive list of the department's needs ahead of the discussion.
And as the oversight chair of the Department of Corrections, I have banged my head on the table. I have begged the director to be forthright, to be transparent about his needs in their budget hearing. I said, hey, tell us exactly what you need so we can put it into the budget. And basically, we weren't told.
So we're kind of dealing with an unknown description of repairs, an unknown amount of repairs, and that's where we end up with the allegations coming from other people that this money might be spent on new cars and different things that are really not capital improvement.
Bill authors Senator Dwayne St. offering a compromise.
This is an amendment to reduce it from $5 million to $1 million.
We talk about the safety and concerns of those hard-working individuals at DOCs, as well as the detainees and prisoners there, for their safety. It's a humane thing that we are responsible for.
Still, senators ended up calling DepCor leaders to the legislature in hopes to get more answers. Nevaeh Anderson, KUAM News.
Nevaeh adds during the committee of the whole this afternoon, senators heard Director Bordalio's justification of DepCor's financial needs.
And the list of needs includes personal hygiene supplies, medical care for inmates, air conditioner and generator repair and replacement, and an improved CCTV system. Well, Guam is hosting the Veterans Affairs Advisory Committee on U.S. outlying areas and freely associated states for their second meeting this week to ensure Pacific veterans' voices and concerns are heard.
Senators welcoming these representatives from across Polynesia, Micronesia, and the Caribbean, and the White House today. Mitsuki Hirayama has more.
Senators taking a quick recess during session for a meet and greet inside the Guam.
We'd like to welcome all of you to the Guam Legislature and to Guam.
Lawmakers welcoming the Veterans Affairs Advisory Committee on U.S. outlying areas and freely associated states. This includes representatives from American Samoa, Puerto Rico, the CNMI, the U.S. Virgin Islands, the FSM, the Marshall Islands, and Palau. The committee gathering on Guam for its second meeting this week, according to White House Senior Advisor and Director for Puerto Rico and Territories, Sierra Zorita.
They have to produce a study with recommendations for the Veterans Administration of how to improve the services that we deliver to our veterans who fight in the same wars that all other veterans do.
Some of those concerns she's seen.
Basically, access to health care, access to doctors, how do we get them their medications fast, how do we make sure that they have the care they did so far.
Vice Speaker Tina Muñoz-Barnes and Senator-elect Vince Borja are part of the committee. On behalf of the 37th Guam Legislature, Barnes presenting Zorita with a certificate of recognition.
An unwavering advocacy for the unique needs of the U.S. territories, dedication to advancing Guam's priorities, and commitment to fostering a greater federal territorial collaboration.
It's tricky to get those results when you're a territory or a freely associated state, so you know how to come up with strategies to get where we need to go, and that, when we get there, that's like a real reward, but this was just very special.
Puerto Rico hosted last year's meeting. Puerto Rico Representative Alex Ortiz, who is an Army veteran, says that by coming here, they are able to understand more of the issues and concerns of fellow veterans in the Pacific.
We've been able to identify the struggles, and I think joining forces and being able to, we're going to be able to get a lot done for our veterans.
The congressionally mandated committee, which was established 2 years ago, reports directly to the Secretary of Veterans Affairs. They are to submit a report with recommended improvements to better serve veterans in these underserved areas. Meantime, the committee also visited the VA community-based outpatient clinic at the Naval Hospital and the Guam Veterans Affairs Office. Mitsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
Thanks, Mitsuki. In other news, as the final resting place of our loved ones, cemeteries are expected to be maintained and cared for properly. But one family says that is not the case at the Guam Veterans Cemetery.
Jonah Gincharfaris finds out why the Guam Veterans Affairs Office has been uprooting grave markers at the cemetery.
I see the concern. I appreciate it, and I understand. I'm willing. I'm here. Come by and see me, and I'll let them know. But I don't have time to mess it up. I'm looking for time to make it right.
That's Jose San Agustin, Director of Guam Veterans Affairs, responding to concerns of a family upset about the moving of their loved one's grave marker at the Guam Veterans Cemetery in Pidi. The family say their loved one's grave marker was moved twice without being informed. San Agustin explains the movement and uprooting of grave markers is all part of correcting improper placement done at the very beginning.
When they started it's kind of backwards because the numbers started from, if you're looking at it, 1, 2, 3. But if you're looking at it from another angle, the military style is from left to right, 1, 2, 3. So the numbering already from the beginning is offset. When you bury a person inside that particular square, where does the head marker go? Does it go immediately on top of the person's head in the square, or does it go above the head?
Initially, they believed the latter would be best. However, they forgot to take into consideration what would happen when new rows are placed above and below. Head markers would be on another person's feet.
So that kind of went as a trend, and then as they move along, we're finding that, holy moly, we have to move the head markers if we're going to bury here because it's on somebody's, it's on his foot.
So the movement of certain grave markers is because the ground crew at the cemetery is trying to align them in accordance to how they should be. Some families who have visited the veteran cemetery are upset by the lack of care and call the placement a disgrace and shameful, and San Agustin is fully aware.
It has to be aligned straight, both vertical and horizontal. And so that's the mandate of what the Federal National Cemetery Administration expects of us. And so that's what we're going to do. Right now, it's not in that standards. We're way off.
For now, he says the work will continue for his small team to correct alignment and placement ahead of NCA coming out for inspection.
We are going to be doing what we need to do. I don't want to do, we're doing our best. That's done. We're doing what we need to do. With the amount of manpower we have, we're doing good.
Jonigan Charfris, KUAM News.
Now to our KUAM series, Making the Grade. We continue our coverage of the Guam Department of Education's multi-million-dollar refurbishment project.
Next stop is to a public school built in the 1960s in the Cotton region, Agata Johnston Middle School.
An old ship is finally changing course, aiming to get in tip-top shape for the pirates who call it home.
There's a lot of work to be done, and it's nice that at this time we are seeing the work that should have been done many years ago actually finally being done.
Lisa Paulino, a former student and now acting principal of Agata Johnston Middle School, says the Guam Department of Education's multi-million-dollar overhaul is the first major upgrade for the school built in the 1960s. Like the new white coating on the roof, part of crack and spall repairs, one of 5 projects underway.
Exterior door replacement, restroom renovations, crack and spall repair. That includes roof coating, electrical upgrade.
Agata's upgrades come with a $9.5 million price tag, funded by $125 million in American Rescue Plan funds. But Nicholas Cruz, Capital Improvement Project Program Manager with GDOE, admits he would have liked to see more work included.
I mentioned that the contract isn't perfect. Of course, exterior painting is one of the major things that I would have liked to see as part of this project. A replacement of all our perimeter fences would have been nice, right? Perimeter fences, replacement of perimeter gates, floor tiles, ceiling tiles, interior and exterior lights. But of course, that comes with a major price tag.
And while construction continues during school hours, Paulino explains how they're keeping children out of harm's way.
Cortec has been wonderful. They set up all the barriers, and then when the kids are coming out, they actually have spotters on site to kind of watch and kind of guide the kids. It hasn't been a problem at all here. The kids have been really as cooperative as middle schoolers can be.
The work contracted to Cortec International began in October and is expected to wrap up in 12 to 14 months.
Now for your world at home.
Here's a view captured over Tutuhan Park in Agani Heights.
This holiday season begins at Kmart, where every aisle is filled with magic. Discover the perfect toy that sparks joy and gifts that bring smiles. Kmart has all the ingredients you need to make your family traditions special without breaking the bank. From trimming the tree to filling your home with holiday cheer, you'll find it all in one place. Discover the magic waiting for you at Kmart, where busy families find everything they need to make memories that last a lifetime. Kmart, for the holidays, for the family, for the magic.
Hey, I got the job. So I can go part-time. Yes!
Some days bring new opportunities. First Hawaiian Bank can help you say yes to making the most of them. Manage your accounts, earn cash back, and when you need advice, we're here for you.
We should really get him into an art program.
No matter where your journeys take you, you can bank on the best. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes.
tangy pickles, slivered onions, tender pork covered in our delicious barbecue sauce, and topped on a home-style bun. Behold, the McRib. It's not just a sandwich, it's an experience altogether. The McRib returns. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replay, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Superspeed your life with Docomo Pacific Fiber Internet. Get symmetrical upload and download speeds up to 5 gigs. Get started with Fiber 500 at $145 a month, Fiber 1 gig at $215 a month, or Fiber 5 gig at $299 a month. Plus, get 2 SuperPod 6Es with any plan, and a free EcoFlow River 3 and bonus welcome kit with 1 gig and 5 gig plans. Experience tomorrow's islands today with Docomo Pacific Fiber Internet.
Okay, everybody, it's a funny term that junior achievement is about juniors, because these amazing kids, these high schoolers, have the entrepreneurial spirit far beyond their years. And they have a trade fair, and it's coming up, and they want you to come show up so that they can make their sales pitches to you. So please make sure to check it out. It's the 3rd trade fair. This happens on Saturday at Don Don Donkey, right in front of Olive Garden. 10 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. Talented, innovative, and really, really good. I'm super excited for that. Puengan y Familia Bazaar is happening at Chamorro Village on Saturday the 28th, starting at 4 in the afternoon. We got live entertainment, we got food trucks, we got handcrafted items, and a rummage sale. I always love those. You can find really, really cool, obscure things and get a great bargain. And you want to support the home of the Pirates, Biba Agata Johnston. Agata I. Johnston Middle School, that is, over in Ordit. Their Student Body Association is having a Christmas Lights and Bites event happening at Skinner Plaza on the 5th, 12th, and 19th. There are food trucks, and they are going to put on a great show. Holiday lights, food trucks, full stomachs. Is there anything more Christmas than that?
Now for your Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club shoutouts,
which you can submit on KUAM.com.
Happy birthday to Kaden Kim, otherwise known as Boboy Doughboy. That is awesome. Have a fantastic day, my boy, says your very, very proud and adoring family. Happy birthday to Marvin Manabusen, Papa Marvin, who celebrates birthday number 60 today. And happiest birthday, Colonel. Your family says thank you for all that you do and continue to do for our family. And of course, we thank you for your service, Colonel. All your grands, your children, and your loving wife, Judy, are sending you all of their love. All right, that's Grandpa Marvin. Now, his grandson, Major Fresh Manabusen, the newest KUAM kid, turned 6 months old today. And happy 6 Cupcake Day to our Pookie Bear, says you're extremely proud, Dad and Mom, who are so proud. They're beaming with pride about you every single day. And you know, you've got like 40 Ninas here at KUAM, and they all love taking care of Major. He's a wonderful kid, a wonderful young man. And Major, we wish you a happy 6-month birthday today.
Happy birthday to all of you celebrating out there today, including to my dad, Pete Delgado. Happy birthday. That's your primetime show. Thanks for watching. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Destiny Cruz-Lingus. Have a safe evening and stay beautiful.
The Hub is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Business and Leo Palace Resort, Guam.
The protection for Guam has certainly ramped up as threats continue to brew in the region. The military is making its presence seen and heard loudly. This was the case for Guam on the night of December 10th. The Missile Defense Agency, for the first time ever, testing its capabilities and intercepting a missile launch off the northern coast of the island. The military calling the exercise a success.
An Air Force C-17 Globemaster III takes off from Andersen Air Force Base. The military air launching a medium-range ballistic missile off the coast of Guam Tuesday night. The Missile Defense Agency sharing images of the flight experiment during Exercise Slingstone. And on the ground, the Aegis Guam system, integrated with the new radar and vertical launching system, fires a standard Missile 3 block intercepting the target. The mission, a success. An historic moment for the military and for the region, as this is the first ever ballistic missile defense event for Guam. Given the designation Flight Experiment Mission 2, officials say this marks a pivotal step taken in defense of Guam and protecting forces from any potential regional missile threats. Guam Governor Lulian Guerrero and Guam National Guard Adjutant General Mike Cruz joined other military leaders at the Joint Region Marianas Regional Operations Center to witness the test. The governor stating, "I witnessed the first ever testing and success of the missile defense system in Guam. It was indeed a moment of satisfaction to see all the hard work, science, data, and technology come together for the defense of our island and our nation. Seeing the interceptor successfully launched and the target tracked and taken down was a great leap into the protection of our people. The system works," she says. Guam Delegate James Moylan also meeting with Missile Defense Agency leaders to witness the event. Moylan stating, "At no moment during this testing were our people, our island, and those within this region in any harm. The process will include an inspection of any debris to be conducted later today aboard Andersen Air Force Base." The congressman adding, "Today's test was a major step forward in our pursuit of 360-degree missile defense. The commitment to defending the homeland remains a top priority for me and my fellow Armed Services Committee members in Congress." Joint Task Force Micronesia Commander Navy Rear Admiral Greg Huffman stating the success of Slingstone is a testament to the incredible work our joint service team does every day to maintain a strong defensive posture in the Indo-Pacific region. Leveraging MDA's missile intercept test to train how we fight just made sense. We will take lessons learned and continue to strengthen the architecture of Guam's defense against evolving adversary missile threats. Simultaneously, the Navy's Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer USS Milius assisted to detect, track, and simulate engagement of the missile, providing air defense coverage from the sea. Task Force Talon, the Army's Terminal High Altitude Area Defense Unit, also received missile tracking information. The THAAD battery provides ballistic missile defense coverage for the entire island. The Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force Maya-class guided missile destroyer JS Haguro exercised its air defense support, increasing interoperability between international forces. Additionally, and Guam Homeland Security Office of Civil Defense to rehearse the notification process and increase crisis response readiness.
The exercise comes as the military waits for the public to comment on an environmental impact statement for the Enhanced Integrated Air and Missile Defense System. We hear from military leaders on that when we return. You're watching The Hub.
The Hub is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Business and Leo Palace Resort Guam.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
NBC's Wednesday primetime lineup comes into focus with Vision Express, fast, fashionable, focused.
KUAM TV8, first on Guam.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Jamaican Grill.
Jamaican grill, Jamaican grill. What's for lunch and for dinner? You want something good? Yeah, man, serious food. Jamaican grill, Jamaican grill, Jamaican grill. What's for lunch and for dinner? You want something good? Yeah, man, serious food. Happy birthday, D-I-R-F-G-A-Y. Happy birthday, Jamaican grill. Yeah, man, serious food.
The Hub is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Business and Leo Palace Resort, Guam.
Welcome back to The Hub. The Missile Defense Agency recently hosting a series of town hall meetings to discuss its plans to construct an enhanced integrated air and missile defense system in multiple locations across the island. Let's hear from them.
I'm John Beer. I'm from the Missile Defense Agency. And Missile Defense Agency is responsible for the overall environmental impact statement. And so we'll be talking tonight about our proposed architecture that we are proposing for the island of Guam to have that as part of this environmental impact statement. You know, it goes through lots of information. I encourage you to download it. You know, use the electronics, search keywords that you're looking for, particularly, you know, whether it's from the sites that we've down selected to the economic impacts, you know, to the island, to the historical, to the biological, you know, so everything that folks have been asking us questions from last year and through some, you know, questions that great questions you guys have asked over the year, is contained in there. It's a large volume, but don't be afraid of it. Please open up the document and take a look at it. And I'm going to pass this over to Admiral DeVore.
Hey, Hafa-day, everybody. It's great to be here with you and spend some time with you. As you execute your duties of the press, to be able to ask questions and work to hold us accountable. For those that don't know me, I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of you before. I'm the commander of Joint Region Marianas. So in that role, I exercise some installation oversight for each of the bases here on Guam, as well as close coordination with activities that we're doing up in the CNMI as well. I'm here in support of my two teammates here, you know, as really kind of a resident here on the island, and to be the face and voice of the military activities here that we are doing on island. So thanks very much. Look forward to your questions.
Thanks, Mark, and thanks everybody for being here. My name is Brigadier General Pat Costello. I'm the 94th Army Air and Missile Defense Command Commander. I serve really two roles. Number one, to synchronize joint integrated air and missile defense across the Indo-PACOM theater. And then I also serve as the operational commander for all ground-based, so all Army Air Defense Forces in the theater. The THAAD battery that's been down here defending Guam since 2013 is one of my subordinate units. I'm here to talk today about the need and how we're going to employ the system in the defense of the 175,000 American citizens here on Guam. So thank you.
So why is this particular missile defense system, multiple of them that will pretty much be constructed, necessary for Guam?
Yeah, so first and foremost, this is about homeland defense, right? I said it already. There's 175,000 American citizens down here that need to be defended, right, against an evolving, rapidly evolving threat across the world. If we take a look at world events in Ukraine and we take a look at what's going on in the Middle East right now with Israel, we see the rapid evolving of aerial threats, right? All the way from UAS, cruise missile, ballistic missile, hypersonic threats. Guam has always played a strategic place within the Pacific. Guam has a long history of playing a pivotal role within the Pacific. But first and foremost, the national strategy calls for us to focus on homeland defense.
I'm not sure who would answer this, maybe Mr. Bear. There's been talk in the past about eminent domain of properties on Guam. Is that still a possibility?
So out of the sites that when we were here in August of 2023, we talked about 22 sites, of which 21 sites were on the DoD land, and one site was on down here, Malesso, which was on land was under the land trust, and we have since down selected to 16 sites, of which all are on DoD land. Up here, you see the 16. If you were to count all these sites, there's 16 sites here for the Guam Defense System, and now there are a couple sites will require working out land agreements with the private land next to them, not to more or less to work out agreements not to build buildings up on right up against the property line and so forth like that. So the Navy Facilities Command out of Hawaii will be working with those individual landowners.
So, but that will be a lease arrangement or eminent domain?
No eminent domain. It'll be some mutually agreed to agreement. Whether it's leasing, or we don't plan to purchase it. It's more or less, there's still, you can still use that land for recreational. You can still use that land for several things with regards to use of that land. We're just asking not to put buildings, 20-story skyscraper right next to the edge of the property.
But what is the plan B if the landowner was to decline to enter into an arrangement with MDA or with whatever entity it is?
Then we'd have to come back and revisit that decision on use of that site.
The Hub is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Business and Leo Palace Resort, Guam.
Taco Bell Cantina chicken burrito?
What do you need that for?
Chicken doesn't have to be flavorless, I guess.
Here we go. It can be tender and slow roasted.
Slow roasted? That sounds lazy to me.
The holidays can be a tough time for the modern chicken eater.
A burrito on what could be Gam Gam's last holiday?
What'd she say?
But don't worry, there's hope for every family. Cantina chicken is winning hearts and mouths across the country. Because a future this delicious can't be ignored for long.
Put it down.
Forgive me, Gam Gam.
A new era of chicken is here to stay.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
The Hub is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Business and Leo Palace Resort, Guam.
Yeah, on the question of land use, I think is some of that is the DoD going to be looking to establish like a permanent conservation area? I know there were some folks on Guam earlier. Is that going to be the kind of non-development agreement?
As part of the mitigations described inside the draft EIS, we talk about how we're going to protect threatened and endangered species, and work through those mitigation for those items identified in the document. You can open up and see where we've done our biological surveys on all of these sites. So that gives you sort of gives you a great picture of the threatened and endangered species on the island. Whether it's putting up fences to keep some of the boar, from coming in and destroying plants and so forth like that. So that's part of the mitigation plans that we'll work out with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife.
Do you folks have an estimate of how much acreage you're going to have to figure out?
That's part of, as we finish up the EIS, that final mitigation plan will be worked out with between Missile Defense Agency, the Department of the Army, and Fish and Wildlife.
I'm sorry, I meant the amount of acreage where you're going to be asking for, around fence lines near installations.
Yeah, in the document, it talks about the total acreage of these 16 sites, and it's significantly less than what is the size of Camp Laz. We are not, there's not a lot of acreage here total around these 16 sites.
I think a year ago, the number that was was thrown out, was it 1,000 acres that we were assessing?
Yes, we're still, it's less than that now. In the form, the specific numbers are inside the EIS.
So how many people would be here at any one time to service the missile defense system?
So I think it's a two-faceted kind of question. I'll speak from the Army perspective. Right now we have about 100 soldiers here just for missile defense from the THAAD battery. That does not include the contribution from the Guam Sec 4. The total growth for the Army contribution for the Guam defense system is approximately 700 soldiers. The intent is to station them here and for them to bring or have the opportunity to bring their families with them.
700 soldiers?
Yes.
How about non-military personnel?
There are very few non-military personnel. There may be a few contractors here and there, but largely all the operations and maintenance of those Army systems are conducted by soldiers.
So 700 soldiers and their families at one time? Or?
No, it's going to be cumulative, and so at end state, that would be the 700 soldiers that I'm talking about. Let me turn this over to John though, because the Missile Defense Agency contribution is a little bit different.
So for the Missile Defense Agency components, it's going to be around 100 total. And to add to General Costello's, the number that we used in the as part of our assessment, for the draft EIS was 2,300 by the time we get to full strength, and that's broken down by, as he mentioned, the 700 soldiers. With that, we used a factor of 1.3. Dependence with each of those soldiers. That's part of that 2,300. And then there'll be support contractors that support the day-to-day operations and maintenance of the system. And so that brings you up to a total of about 2,300 when you get out there in beyond the 2030 timeframe.
When we're still doing this rotational basis, how many would be on Guam?
So Pat, do you want to?
Yeah, I mean, from an Army, the rotational basis is we typically rotate soldiers in and out of duty stations depending on location. It could be an annual basis. It could be every 2 years or every 3 years. So that's from an Army perspective. When we say rotational basis, the flag for the headquarters will always stay here, but the soldiers will come in on it's called permanent change of station, so PCS. Rotation, so typically every 2 to 3 years for an overseas assignment.
DoD will address military's need for medical and healthcare services on Guam in a holistic approach to address this healthcare impact. What does that mean, though?
So as we documented in the draft EIS, the 2,300 is not going to be a big impact. But cumulative, we know that there's challenges on the island for medical care, for the service men and women, their dependents, and also in the local, community. So all that is, cumulative when you throw the Guam defense system in with other ongoing projects on the island. Cumulative, there is a significant impact. We know that. DoD is working through that now. We're are addressing not only hospitals, but schools and so forth like that. That because it is cumulatively it impacts, but individually as a Guam defense system, it does not.
Let me add just a little bit of color on top of that as well, right? As part of the Marine relocation to Guam, part of the agreement there was to establish a civil military coordination council in conjunction with the government, with the governor's administration and the agencies on Guam. So that process continues to play out. What I can tell you is we continue to expand how we're addressing those type issues in that. It's far beyond, where that process that started specifically about the Marine relocation now includes a much more broader look, as indicated in the fact sheet that you had there, that we're working with the agencies, not doing things in a vacuum, certainly not doing things by edict, working with the partners of the administration and Guam Housing Authority to take a
a look at the impact of the integration of the growth that is happening, whether it's the Marines relocating, in which we're doing numerous construction projects on island to accommodate that housing. But now as we add on other things, we got to be mindful of what that impact is to the housing market and remain committed to work with the governor and her staff on that.
The Hub is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Business and Leo Palace Resort Guam.
For 25 years, Cars Plus has been more than just a place to buy a car. When we opened our doors, our mission was clear: build lasting relationships and ensure every customer drives away with confidence. As a family business, we nurture our employees, passing down values of integrity and respect. We believe that strong values create strong relationships, ensuring that every customer who walks through our doors is treated like family. For 25 years, we've been driven by you and will continue to be for generations to come.
How deep do Pizza Hut's roots run in the islands? Through all the decades, we know what you love. Great taste at an even better price. Like our large one-topping carry-out pizza for just $15.99. You choose your favorite topping: pepperoni, olives, sausage, or any other single topping. Our $15.99 large one-topping pizza. Order online and carry one out today. Only at Pizza Hut, the island's best.
The Hub is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Business and Leo Palace Resort Guam.
None of those said domes you see have anything to do with the system that's being described here today. First and foremost, nothing to do with any of those. So at least to arrest that first kind of concern and question, hey, are we moving ahead of something, ahead of a legal process that we have a responsibility to fulfill? So with respect to So with respect to mobility, if you wanted to address that piece.
So, Mr. Bay, you mentioned economic impact. Were you talking about the positive economic impact of these families and military personnel who are going to be stationed?
Inside the draft EIS, it breaks it down into the construction phase, how many workers would be on the island, and how many workers we would pull from the local, available workforce, which we used the assumption 40% from local on the island to 60% would come in of the 400 approximately per year for about 10 years to complete this project. And so that direct and indirect and induced, economic impact it gets rolled in there to then also, construction materials that will be bought here locally to then, and then when the projects are done, we move into what's called the operations and maintenance state. And there, we're forecasting approximately about $150 million per year to economic impact to this area when you have the operators of the system, their dependence on the island, and then their direct, indirect, and induced benefits.
What about the CNMI and how far does that defense ring go?
Yeah, so there is some residual capability that extends to other parts of the CNMI. This is just one of many places that the Department of Defense is looking at. And to your previous question, there's a little bit of overlap. So I appreciated the question on the mobility of the systems, right? If the threat becomes pointed somewhere else other than Guam, then Commander Indo-PACOM can make a decision to extend some of or all of that capability elsewhere as the threat expands.
We are building new construction family housing inside the fence lines. There's still space probably to continue to do that. Likewise, there may be the right private opportunities available to us to partner in a public-private venture, so to speak. So I would say a lot of options remain open, and we'll certainly want to coordinate with the government here locally to make sure we're getting that balance mix right. You could swing that pendulum too far either way, too much inside the fence line. Now you're creating an economic deficit by virtue of a vacuum out of the economy, out in the community. Likewise, similarly, we could try to flood the market too much, which would also have a detrimental effect to the community. So I think it's got to be a smart balance that's in coordination with the local community and the governors and the villages about where that distribution of population and how that plays out.
When you say a public-private partnership, do you mean DoD partnering with the developer?
Yeah, in other places throughout the United States, there's certainly been public-private venture partnerships that have allowed things like that. We have solicited earlier this year a request for information out to industry to see what other local private opportunities had ideas. We received 21 responses to that, people that were suggesting ideas for that. We continue